Someone near you yawns. You feel it building in your jaw before you even decide to do it. Your mouth opens. Your eyes water. You didn't choose this. Something older than choice just took over your face. You've felt this 1,000 times. You've probably never asked why. Most people assume it's just tiredness spreading through a room, a kind of social politeness, an echo with no real meaning. But the real answer is far stranger. Contagious yawning isn't about sleep at all. It's a leftover signal from a survival system your ancestors couldn't live without, and it's still running quietly inside you today. Start with the basics. A yawn itself, the solo kind, the one you do alone in your car or at your desk, is simple. Your brain temperature rises slightly. A yawn pulls in cool air and stretches the muscles around your skull, helping regulate that heat. Neuroscientist Andrew Gallup has spent years studying this cooling function, and his research suggests yawning acts almost like a radiator for your brain. That part isn't mysterious. Every vertebrate does it. Fish yawn, snakes yawn, even unborn babies yawn in the womb, weeks before they've ever felt tired a single day in their lives. But contagious yawning is a different animal entirely. It doesn't happen because your brain is overheating. It happens because someone else's brain sent you a signal and yours automatically answered. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Contagious yawning isn't universal. Human infants don't catch yawns. Neither do most animals. Chimpanzees catch them. Dogs catch them, sometimes even from humans they're bonded to. But the ability to catch a yawn seems to require something specific, something that develops slowly, something tied to a deeper wiring in the brain. What is that wiring actually for? Psychologist Robert Provine was one of the first scientists to take yawning seriously as a subject of real study, back when most researchers dismissed it as trivial. Provine found that simply reading the word yawn or looking at a photograph of someone yawning was enough to trigger one in nearly half of all people tested. Not sleepiness, not boredom. Just the idea of it, planted in your mind, was enough to hijack your own muscles. Think about how strange that is. A single image bypassed your conscious will and pulled a physical response out of your body. What other signal works like that? The leading explanation involves something called mirror neurons, brain cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you simply watch someone else perform it. Neuroscientist Giacomo Rizzolatti first identified these cells in the 1990s while studying motor activity in primates, and the discovery reshaped how scientists think about imitation, empathy, and social bonding. When you watch someone yawn, a piece of your brain reacts as though you are the one yawning. Your body doesn't fully know the difference between witnessing an action and performing it. This is where the story stops being cute and starts being useful. Imagine your ancestors thousands of years ago sleeping in a small, exposed group with no walls, no locks, no safety beyond each other. A yawn spreading through the group wasn't a joke. It was a synchronization signal. If one member of the group grew tired, drowsy, less alert, that vulnerability put the whole group at risk. A contagious yawn may have functioned as a silent alarm, a way of syncing everyone's alertness cycles at once, so the entire group grew sleepy together and woke together rather than leaving gaps where a predator could slip through unnoticed. Vigilance, shared and timed. That's the theory. A yawn wasn't weakness, it was coordination. And it gets more specific than that. Not everyone catches yawns equally. Researchers Ivan Norcia and Elisabetta Palagi published a study in 2011 examining thousands of yawns among people who knew each other at different levels of closeness. Strangers rarely caught each other's yawns. Acquaintances caught them somewhat more. But family members and close friends caught yawns from each other far more often and far faster than from anyone else in the room. The closer your bond, the stronger the contagion. Doesn't that tell you something about what a yawn actually communicates? It suggests the reflex is tied directly to empathy, to how attuned your nervous system is to the people around you. This is backed up by researcher Atsushi Senju, who studied yawn contagion in children with autism spectrum conditions and found a measurable difference in how often they caught yawns compared to neurotypical children, tying the reflex even more tightly to the brain's social wiring rather than to simple imitation or boredom. So when you catch someone's yawn at dinner, you're not being rude, and you're not necessarily tired. You are running an ancient empathy test and passing it, whether you meant to or not. Now think about your own life through that lens. You've probably noticed you almost never catch a yawn from someone you dislike. You've probably noticed strangers on a train barely trigger anything in you at all, while your closest friend can make you yawn from across a room without even looking at you first. That isn't random. That is your nervous system quietly measuring closeness, running calculations you were never consciously aware of. There's a darker layer buried in here too. If yawning spread as a synchronized alertness signal among early humans, then the people who couldn't catch a yawn, who couldn't sync with the group's rhythm, may have been slightly more exposed, slightly more alone in moments when everyone else drifted into rest and vigilance together. Being outside the contagion loop may have quietly meant being outside the group's protection. That's a strange thing to sit with. A reflex this small, this automatic, this easy to dismiss, might be one of the oldest markers of belonging your body still runs. And here's the twist most people never think about. You don't just catch yawns from people. Some studies suggest you can catch them from your dog, and your dog can catch them from you, hinting that this signal may cross species lines wherever social bonding is strong enough. The mechanism doesn't seem to care what species is on the other end. It only cares whether a real connection exists. So the next time it happens, the next time you feel that pull in your jaw because someone across the room just yawned, pause for a second before you give in to it. You are not simply tired. You are not simply mirroring a random behavior. You are running a reflex built over millions of years to keep a group synchronized, to keep everyone safe together, to silently confirm that you belong to the people around you. Someone near you yawns, and without meaning to, your body just told you exactly how close you really are to them.